The Russian President Vladimir Putin has just contacted his Malian counterpart, Assimi Goïta, to talk about the Niger crisis. But why do you think he has never contacted the Nigerian President Bola Tinubu, who is also the ECOWAS chairperson since the start of the Niger crisis? Well, to make you understand why Putin can easily contact Mali's Assimi Goïta or Burkina Faso's Ibrahim Traoré over the Niger crisis, but find it hard to have a conversation with the ECOWAS chairperson, we have brought to you the following 5 reasons. Number 1. Russia and ECOWAS are on 2 different pages over the Niger crisis. Since the July 26 coup d'état that saw President Mohamed Bazoum deposed, and the Niger government taken over by the military, there have been 2 clear and conflicting approaches towards the same, with one approach, that is being favored by ECOWAS and France, being the use of all means necessary, including a military intervention in resolving the crisis, for a return to constitutional order in Niger. Then the other approach, which is being routed by Mali, Burkina Faso, Guinea, Russia and partly by the United States, is diplomacy, or rather dialogue, with this group warning that a military intervention in Niger might only exacerbate the situation, and leave behind a trail of undesirable consequences. As a result, Putin can easily contact those with whom he shares the same view over the matter, making it hard for him to contact the ECOWAS chairperson who holds a conflicting stand. Number 2. Russia is in support of the military juntas that are ruling other suspended ECOWAS members. ECOWAS has been fighting against military takeovers of governments within its bloc, but a major impediment that it has lately been facing is the endorsing or rather legitimizing of military governments by external powers like Russia. By ignoring ECOWAS sanctions on countries like Burkina Faso, Guinea and Mali and pledging to support the military governments, Russia has made itself an enemy of ECOWAS, and that's why Putin cannot call Tinubu to talk about the Niger crisis. Number 3. Russia is being accused of using its private military companies to destabilize Sahel governments. After France withdrawing its troops from Burkina Faso in February 2023, Russia's Wagner Group PMC, which was already in the country before the withdrawal, took over as the country's #1 partner in counterinsurgency and counter-terrorism operations. The same thing had happened in Mali, where Wagner mercenaries even have a base as of today, and therefore this habit of Russian PMCs taking over security operations after legitimate governments having been toppled put Russia in a position where it lacks a moral authority to advise or offer to help ECOWAS solve the crisis within the bloc. Number 4. Russia is being accused of being behind the military coups. There have been some accusations that Russia, through its PMCs like Wagner Group, has in one way or the other been facilitating the military takeovers, as a means for it to not only displace its Western enemies from the Sahel, but also expand its influence and exploit the region's minerals. Wagner troops helped Ibrahim Traoré depose Lieutenant Colonel Paul-Henri Dimiba on September 30, 2022, for him to be president of Burkina Faso, and in Mali, the same Wagner mercenaries which have a base on the outskirts of Niamey are the ones protecting the military junta from being toppled by another coup. Then recently, we have also seen the Niger junta's defense minister Salifou Modi make regular travels to Mali, for consultations with Wagner leaders in the Sahel on how to have its troops deployed to Niger for counterinsurgency and counter-terrorism operations, in addition to preparations for any military intervention by ECOWAS. And the fact that Wagner chief Yevgeny Prigozhin celebrated the Niger coup, saying it's something that Niger needed, puts Russia in a position where it's ECOWAS' #1 external enemy. Number 5. ECOWAS is already being backed by the United States, or rather NATO. Despite calling for dialogue, just like Russia, the United States is solidly behind ECOWAS and its NATO ally, that's France, and should a military intervention be instituted, it has hinted that it is ready to throw its weight behind ECOWAS and France. Then, since Russia and the United States cannot mix, largely because of the current war in Ukraine, Putin cannot call Tinubu over the Niger crisis, unless he calls to inform ECOWAS that he will withdraw Russian PMCs that are protecting the military juntas from the Sahel so that the countries can return back to civilian governments. Whose stand do you support between the two? Are you in support of Vladimir Putin and the military juntas, or in support of ECOWAS and its allies? Leave your thoughts on this in the comments below and don't forget to subscribe before leaving.